Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Mario Wonder lately, and I am inclined to get real hyperbolic because as somebody who has been steeped in Super Mario for the last 2 to 3 years with my son just getting very, very invested in it and
Oh, only
playing through it.
5 minutes. You only want to steep for 5 minutes max. Then take it out,
Yeah. This is
and
the
then
sous vide of Mario. Sous vide of Mario Brothers. Uh,
Wow, Sous Vide Mario Brothers is really a Halloween title. We cooked them and we resurrected them.
That's right. You don't feel
Enjoy
it getting
your Mario
warm.
meat. Looks like Mario's back on the menu, boys.
I've definitely had like a sort of a concentrated revisit to a lot of the Mario franchise over the last few years, just because my son has reinvented it or rediscovered it, and I have pulled games out that I hadn't played in a long time. And I was never one of the people that fell in love with Odyssey and the sort of reinvention of the 3D Mario. I know a lot of people that's their favorite Mario, and it is. I recognize its ingenuity on a number of levels, and my son played the living heck out of that and Bowser's Fury, and so I played a lot of it fairly recently, or watched someone play a lot of it fairly recently as well
on Twitch. Where did you watch?
I mean, there was part of me twitching at certain times when it was like, "Did you clean your room yet?" No. But the 3D Mario, even recognizing how well executed it is, was never my favorite Mario. My favorite Mario of all time traditionally has been Super Mario World and the old SNES pack-in game. And I'm inclined to say Super Mario Wonder might be my new favorite Mario of all time. It is extraordinary. And we talked at length as it was being announced about how, what do you do when you give somebody a toolkit to make any 2D Mario game they can possibly dream up? Well, you've just made your franchise obsolete because people can just make whatever. Yeah, Super Mario Maker means there's no need for any more 2D Marios. I guess we don't get them. Oh, what's the solution? Completely reinvent the wheel. Completely infuse it with so many new ideas, so much new stuff. Like the level of invention, pure mechanical invention inside this game boggles my mind. There are levels where my son and I will finish it, and I will turn to him and be like, he'll say to me, "Daddy, that was so much fun." And I'll be like, "You know what? Yes, that was one of the most fun things. And I've never done it in a Mario game. I've never done anything like that." And I'm talking before we even touch the Wonder Flower, right? Just the pure baseline, what the level is doing is so new enemies, new ways to interact, not just new suits. The new suits are awesome. The bubble suit's amazing. The elephant suit is a blast. And the way it's animated and how you get down a pipe when you're an elephant and all that stuff is just a joy. But even aside from all that, just the pure things that I am doing inside the level. And then you touch a Wonder Flower and it is like just an explosion of ideas. I did not realize going into the game, I thought the Wonder Flower was going to work like a Fireball Flower or another power-up, that it was going to do one of a handful of things to a level. You would touch it and things would get giant or weird. I did not realize that they are bespoke to each level, that every single level has its Wonder Flower chaos that changes, that it does something. And the fact that they come up with new and delightful things to have happen, that you're turned into a top-down game, or it goes all shadowy and you're elongated and weird, or you turn into a big square box, or I mean you're just catapulted in the air, or you're jumping and you're turned into a giant version of a bad guy, or never stops being surprising, fun, exhilarating. I am bowled over by the amount of stuff jammed into this game. And on top of all that, it's gorgeous. The most beautiful version of Mario ever. And I include the movie in that. This is way prettier than the movie, in my opinion. The art design, the tiny little animations, the way all the different characters are a little bit different from each other, the constant backgrounds, the overworld map, which is the most attractive overworld map they've ever done, in my opinion. Everything is a home run. Honestly, my only gripe about this game, and it comes because I've been playing exclusively in co-op. I literally have not played a single level of Mario Wonder by myself yet because I can't, because of like the sound comes on and my son comes running in the room. They still haven't nailed that. I think it's a huge improvement over the new Super Mario Brothers U's of the world and all those, the recent multiplayer games where it's just chaos. You're bouncing off of each other and knocking people into things and picking your friend up and throwing them and all the junk that is wacky and fun for a little while, but then also becomes frustrating. This is an improvement, but it's not perfected. There are still way too many times, and I'm curious, Will, if you've had this experience or it's just a 7-year-old. There are way too many times that we have screen deaths, where somebody just gets excited and goes forward and the game decides, oh, you're the one I'm following, and the other person gets left in the dust and dies.
I mean, without throwing too much shade, I'm pretty sure my girlfriend is not as good as your 7-year-old at Super Mario. So yeah, that's definitely a complaint that we've had.
There's never a time where that experience is fun. And it happens far too frequently, even unintentionally. I mean, there are times.
You sort of feel like they make so many other decisions that are just like, sort of screw what should happen, make the most fun decision. That actually, for that to be such a constant source of frustration that comes up all the time is such a weird. It's sort of a weird overlook, right?
It is, and I, obviously it's a tougher problem to solve, right? Because you have only so much screen real estate, and you have these big levels, and you don't want to restrict
just
people.
To bounce someone in, right? It's like if they fall off the screen, bounce them in.
I like the idea of, and I think there's some games that have done this, where you sort of just like, if you get too far away, it kind of like does picture in picture, or it splits the screen into two windows or something, and then when you get back, it reunites everything. I don't know what the perfect solution is, but I can tell you that it is not fun to like be yelling at your 7-year-old. Slow down. Oh, go back. Can we go back? Let's try to get like that. It's still not perfect. That said, it's a very relatively minor gripe to what is, I think, one of the best made platformers of all time. To say it's my favorite Mario is not a small thing to say. These are, this is a franchise that has some of the greatest installments ever. And I just can't, I have a hard time wrapping my head around how many new ideas are in this thing. I mean, I love Mario Galaxy and Mario Galaxy 2. They're two of my favorites as well, for that same reason, that it just felt like the game was constantly reinventing itself and coming up with new wild things. And this game does that. It is, and it is always this intensely fun experience. There's a moment in like the second level you play where you touch the Wonder Flower, and all of the piranha plants start doing this choreographed dance number. And in that moment, I was like, we talk about Nintendo being the Disney of video games. And I feel like with this game, they have fully arrived there. The look, the feel, the animation style, the way that game makes you feel, it is the way the best Disney kids experience make you feel, where it's like, it's welcoming to kids and adults. It's beautiful and pure and joyous and positive. I just have, I expected to like Mario Wonder. I did not expect to be absolutely bowled over by it. I think it's one of the greatest achievements in platforming I've ever played. And there's so much to it. There's a lot of levels that are really challenging. It does a great job of letting you decide your challenge level. The sort of economy of the game is really well balanced. I mean, it's just an extraordinary game. Extraordinary.
Well, I